I'm going to talk about a situation that irritates me to no end. And that is, I'll get a telephone call from somebody, and the guy says to me, he says, I've got a problem. He said, with my rifle, he says, I can't get my bullets to go in it. Well, right then and there, I know that the guy doesn't have a clue about much of anything. He doesn't know in the first place what he's talking about at all. Now, why in the world would you put just a bullet in your rifle? Cartridges, ammunition, is described as bullets. Watch a Western. Go into the old backcountry store after you got off your horse and walk in and say, I want a box of bullets. Well, what do you want? Well, I want some .6 bullets. Well, really, folks, there isn't such a thing as .6 bullets. Now, there is such a thing as .6 ammunition, .6 cartridges. Now, I'm going to show you right here. This is a bullet. Period. That is a bullet. The next thing is, here's an empty cartridge case. Here's a loaded round of ammunition. This is not a bullet, folks. This is a cartridge. This is ammunition. Real. Let's get real. It just goes on all the time. You can't watch even some of these hunting shows without this being talked about. I've only got 10 bullets with me. Oh? Why did you bring just bullets? Why didn't you bring 10 cartridges? You're hunting. I mean, really, folks. Let's get real. This is coming from all sorts of aspects. Areas that you'd think that there would be some knowledge. If you're going to produce a hunting show, maybe you ought to know what you're talking about. Talk about the ammunition, the cartridges, instead of a bullet. That is a bullet. What good's that going to do you on your hunt? Unless it's loaded in a case to make a cartridge, to give you the ammunition to kill your game. This is what it's all about. I mean, it's just absolutely gotten to be insane where this has gotten off to. I get email after email with these sort of situations. I think, mister, that you're talking about ammunition, not bullets. Oh yeah. And then as soon as you correct them, then they're right back talking again and still using the wrong terminology. Now, this is so out of place that it's like talking that, here's my hand. Now this is my hand, but this is my head. Now, what are we going to talk about? If you got a problem with your hand, you talk about your hand. You got a problem with your head, you talk about your head. They're not the same. They're entirely different. Just as different as this bullet is a bullet, this cartridge is a cartridge, and this empty cartridge casing is exactly that, an empty cartridge case. You get it? We're gonna talk about a situation here that's just gotten completely out of hand. You can't watch a hunting show without somebody that's deer hunting talking about, boy, look at the horns on that buck deer. Huh, really? Buck deer don't have horns and never will. This is a horn. Sheep have horns. This is an antler. This is what come off of a buck deer. This is an antler, folks. They're not interchangeable, but they're used constantly. And somebody's talking about, I'm going horn hunting. Horn hunting, this is what a horn is. This is what an antler is. You're going antler hunting.
Well, you might find horns too.
But on that trip of hunting antlers, you could possibly find a winter killed or maybe a set of sheep horns, a sheep skull with the horns on it from perhaps maybe somebody that shot at something, some big horn ram at 1,000 yards and never recovered it. You can find that. But you know, the funny thing about all this is we can talk and talk and talk about this, and it's always talking about, for instance, deer or elk or moose or whatever. Oh, man, he's really got big horns. But you know, the funny thing about all this is, when we're talking about sheep, man, look at the size of the antlers on that sheep. Oh, really? Antlers on a sheep, huh? They're horns, folks. Now, sheep have horns, buffalo have horns, antelope have horns, goats have horns. They don't have antlers. And deer, they have antlers, and elk have antlers, and moose have antlers, and caribou have antlers, and so forth. But they do not have horns, and they'll never will have horns.
Words matter.
Words matter. It really makes a difference.
Battery died. That's good.